You have
the
migrant
tools to help you just pull out your data and put it in. Probably we have this concept of snapshots in Core. We probably allow you to insert that snapshot into file.
Did you show the snapshot?
it's 5, not yet. It's being redone.
So just to give you a little understanding of what snapshot is, then the snapshot is open source, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think it is.
So snapshot is basically what we do is this is our procedure to do backup. We take a snapshot of the entire system, voicemails, configuration, recording, sounds, everything, and we just package it together so you come back to the exact state of the machine as it was back then. Going ahead will let you tag the snapshots and maybe upload it to a remote site. We add some more features, so we're redoing the snapshots in file. So maybe on a separate NFS drive.
What might be really advantageous is to be able to schedule automated snapshots. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Actually, we do even in the open source in the tools directory. Under Druid, there's a tools directory. If you look in there, we have create snapshot and restore snapshot. You can actually use that create snapshot, put it in a cron job, it's a script. Put it in a cron job with auto create snapshot script. And the reason we have restore snapshot in there as a command line tool is because restoring or creating snapshots on heavy machines through the web interface doesn't work. It times out. So on heavily used machines, it's better to go in and do it on the command line. So we actually have the tools. You can.
Actually, just one, you can actually
Do it from the interface, or you can do it directly.
yeah, because I have it automated.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Tell them to lower the air conditioning.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, if you've already downloaded it, how do you SSH?
Yeah. So yeah.
He's talking about upload, basically.
Yeah, I know you're talking about the upload. So we know of that limitation. It's something we're working on. The problem with uploading snapshots, and this is a real issue, is that they get very large for a lot of systems pretty quickly. And the issue is that PHP has upload limits. It's very difficult to upload large files. So the main reason we haven't gone so far ahead is because we're trying to sort of figure out a way to sort of coalesce those issues with PHP with making it work. And so it can be very large.
I know this might not be the most elegant solution, but what I did was create a promise share.
Yeah, actually, the main thing that we're looking at really is actually moving them to external storage. One guy actually told us that the one thing he wants is the ability to move it to an external SAN. He's got a SAN that supports NFS, supports iSCSI, things like that, of that nature. He wants to be able to put that back up immediately on a SAN. He doesn't, why put it on the file system? That doesn't make any sense, right? So he wants it somewhere that's redundant, that he has deployed in his data center.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you can just make a sandwich and then right.
Yeah.
Or you can have NFS file mount.
Mm-hmm.
Getting the file from one machine to another.
Exactly. So any more questions? Feel free, chime in.
With the 5 multi-site configurations, is there any way or any plans to be able to let's say you have calls in session and a server goes out?
So keeping calls alive.
Yeah.
That's a very good question. And
I ran into a situation the other night that kind of resparked my interest.
so right now we don't have a current way to keep the calls in session. What we've done is we've tried to focus more on minimizing the downtime first. Keeping calls in session, we are actually looking at solutions for that. But
the thing with keeping calls in session is that you need to preserve all the
Yeah.
data states
Yeah.
in asterisk.
So one of the things that's going to probably come along with our OCS integration is probably the integration of OpenSUR. And OpenSUR has much better facilities for keeping calls alive because of their use of SIP dialogues and things like that than Asterisk does. The only issue is that IAX becomes somewhat problematic.
There's a guy, Russell Brand, Asterisk developer. It's a framework for high redundancy clustering. He's used that in 1.6 for already clustering events and certain kind of data. But to be truthful, in the long term, his idea is to be able to move session data structures which he's using. Because OpenAIS is designed for that. It's for moving data structures between things. In fact, one guy from IBM actually made an Asterisk version that does that.
Yeah, there's an actual whole Asterisk branch that's maintained separately that is designed for OpenAIS. It's completely, it won't work on any without it. So
anyway, this is in development.
Yeah,
It'll happen one day.
it'll happen one day.
One of the other question is, I ran into a situation the other day, as a matter of fact, last night, as a matter of fact, where we had a service provider, upstream service provider, for some reason was having inbound UDP packets blocked. In a situation like this where you have multiple sites, how are they monitoring each other, and would there be a way of monitoring the type of data that's going through as opposed to just the ping response? Because TCP was working fine, pinging was working fine, we could SSH in all day long, and everything appeared normal, which would have never triggered any type of failure.
We probably have HPing configured in some way. UDP HPing on port 56.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't necessarily.
Some web interface to test the other.
I mean, it wouldn't necessarily be HPing. It could be any kind of SIP options or something, some way to ping it that's outside of, say, a ping. Some way to say that, okay, SIP is going through.
Right, exactly. I was going to say, is there a way to, when the testing of the machines or when they're checking their heartbeats between each other, will it be something specific to yes, voice communication is possible as opposed to yes?
Yeah, we want to actually improve overall diagnostics of the whole system in general. So that's sort of another thing that we're also looking at. So it's not just sort of diagnostics to it's diagnostics to your provider if you're just trunking, or diagnostics between the sites if you're just doing that. So we're trying to integrate all of that in at some point. It's just that it's all in the pipeline a little. So.
All right, there's no questions. Any more questions? There's no questions. Thank you, Naveen. All right.